Hello, I hope you're all enjoying your little snow day. It's kind of awesome. At the end of class, I was working on this like kind of circular nav, and so I wanted to show you that and how the code works. And I let me turn this off. I was playing with Twister as an example. Where Round-nav Twister. Okay, I'm going to turn off the alert. Um, so I started with an image that is pointing, whoa, that's cool, straight up. And I think the code probably works better if the arrow is, let's see, does this arrow, if it starts pointing to the right. I think that would have been easier on my life because I had to kind of change some math. But here's a twister. So my plan is to turn off these numbers, but basically trying to figure out like how could I make a random number between here and here that will make this spin randomly. It's kind of a fun project. And then the other one I was looking at was the mouse follow. Let me go get that. Mouse follow. So you could do something like I got a little ghost, and the ghost is, wait, not working. Come on, ghost. Hold on a second. What did I do? I put this, maybe I did a bad thing. Okay. Oh my gosh, what's happening? Close. Oh my gosh. This was totally working a minute ago. Must have changed something. Follower image, follower, ghost, mouse follow, mouse follower. What's happening? What's happening? Did I change something? I don't think so. Badge. There we go. Follower. Let's see if that works. There we go. So this little guy follows my cursor around. Something to note is that if you did use something like this, it would probably interfere with links if the mouse or if the ghost gets on top of it. So, but you could have it so it almost gets to where the mouse is. I could help you fix that code. But so here's this, and the arrow. So this one's working pretty good. If you started with whatever your pointer is pointing to the right, you could just use this one right out of the bat, and you should be able to just like add another extra points along the way. This one is responsive. Well, I take that back. It's not responsive. Yeah, so neither of them, I guess, will be responsive. The other one I was working on, the twister, definitely isn't responsive because the only way I could get it to work well was to use like pixel size. So you could have a couple different versions in media queries and then just turn it off for mobile or something like that. But I'm going to put the link to the code for these two things in this video. And let's actually just talk through it real quick. So first, I'm going to go to the simple Round-nav. This is the one with the green arrow. So there is a container. There are a few menu items, and they're just using placeholder images for now. And these menu items are positioned absolutely. So here's menu 1, 2, 3, 4. They're all like 20% from top left, top right, bottom left, and bottom right. And the container is, it just has this height of 500 pixels. What else? They have a z-index on the menus just so the hotspots are above any other image. Here's the arrow, so it needs to be positioned absolutely in the center. And what else? I guess this arrow is like probably, yeah, it's 200 by 200, and so they're adjusting to get it to the center, which is like 50%. That would just be the top of the image. So they're like adjusting the margin so that the image lands right in the middle. So if you had a different sized image, you'd need to adjust this stuff to match. And then this cubic Bezier is just the motion of the arrow. So that's just the transition from pointing one way to another. They've got this cubic Bezier. So it's got a nice smooth rotation. And let's see, it's got an image with a class of animation trigger. And all those live inside the container. And then there's the arrow here, which is also absolutely positioned. It's using jQuery, and here's the script. So there's a variable for image that is pointing to that class of arrow. And it's basically as long as there's an image, then let's see, animation trigger. So when you mouse enter an animation trigger, so that's any one of these images, then there is, they're saying this particular one that you're mousing over, get the position, and then it does a little bit of math, like it's getting the center of the thing, it's getting like the center of the width, the center of the height, and then let's see, image X offset left, the width divided by 2, so it's getting the middle. What else? Math. I don't know what a tan 2 is. Element X. So the middle of the element minus image X, the half. I don't know. It's getting the center, and then it's getting a degrees to rotate. So it's using MathPy, dividing it by 180. It's turning it into a negative number and then adding 90. And then it's using transform rotate. And it just has these are called what are they called? Browser prefixes. So it's just making sure that all the different browsers work. And so it's rotating it using this number that it's getting. And then you have to write out the degree. Like if it was 360, it would be 360 DEG. So it's just adding that DEG at the end of the number. And so when I did my twister, because it was pointing up, I had to change that 90 degrees to 180. And then it wasn't quite right. Like I couldn't quite get it to work. So I'm like playing with, okay, if the degrees is less than 100, then subtract 35 from it. Otherwise add. I'm trying to kind of compensate. It's not going great. But that's kind of, I think, the only thing I changed. So what I did, instead of having this like minimum width of 500, I made my container a height of 700 and a width of 700 because that was what my image was. And that's what fits on my 13-inch monitor. So I got this twister board. I'm using it as a background. I'm sizing it to 100%. And I'm just making sure that it's not getting clipped in my container. And then here's all my menus. So I position them like really by the pixel. And they're kind of quadrants. So the other thing I changed was, so the way that the code was originally, the class of animation trigger was on the image, but I actually just want these to be big quadrants. So I'll show you what I mean by that. Instead of just being the image, I want it to be the whole quadrant. So I have kind of placed this invisible box over that whole quadrant. So wherever I am in that quadrant, it will trigger it to go there. So I don't have to like mouse over the image. So that is how I've done that. And as you can see, it's like this left top one and this bottom right one, I haven't quite gotten the thing to be where I want it to be. But anyhow, that is that code. Let's go look at the mouse follow code. So this one uses quite a large mouse follower library that you don't really need to look at, other than I changed it from, what was it before? Badge. I changed it to follower just for niceness. This was written by Julian Gustin. Thank you, Julian. There's their website. But there's not anything else you need to know in this. It's just kind of tracking your mouse for you using jQuery. And then here's the code. The follower could be anything. I added this ghost image for fun, and it needs to live in a class called container, because right here the function says container.mousefollower. So if you did have a different class, you could change it. Here, this needs to match this. And the container in this case is the full width and height of the screen. So that's where the ghost gets to roam around in. I think that's all I want to say. And the follower is also, it's just centering on the middle of the ghost. And it starts in the middle of the screen. Okay, cool. Bye.